What's up guys, and welcome to the very first episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode. Yes, my new career mode begins today and I'm really excited for the next project on this channel. And we're going to be using Arminia Bielefeld of the German top tier for this career mode. And they're a really interesting side as well. Now, a couple of years ago they were promoted to the Bundesliga and survived last season. And they're one of the lowest rated teams in the top tier with one of the lowest budgets. Just 3.5 star and just over 5.5 million in the transfer budget. So they kind of remind me a bit like Brentford. Not completely, but there are some similarities between the two teams. And I'm really excited to use them. There's a whole host of reasons why I chose them. And one of the reasons, I'll be honest here, is because they've got some fantastic kits. Their home kit is absolutely beautiful. Love their away, love their alternate. Their goalkeeper kit is great as well. They've got a real stadium too. I thought Bielefeld would be an excellent choice for a challenge. And also, again, aesthetically, a really cool and nice looking club to manage as well. Now, Bielefeld's recent history is quite an interesting one. A few years ago, they were in the Free Liga, which is equivalent to League One in the English football pyramid. Yet they went to the DFB Pokal semi-finals. They had an amazing cup run. So it's like a League One side going to the FA Cup semi-final, if you will. They had an amazing cup run. And they've been like a bit of a Norwich, like a bit of a yo-yo team over the years. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And now in the Bundesliga, trying to cement their status in the top tier of German football. In the first season, we'll have a budget of, again, around £7 to £7.5 million after wage budget alteration. And with a 3-star team, the objective in the first season is very simple. Avoid relegation. Now, as I run you through the team though, the one thing I'll show you here is that what I really like about Bielefeld and why I compare them a little bit to Norwich as well is because they've got some decent young talent here, some really decent young talent as well. Kruger, the man up top, just 22 years old, 72 overall, one to watch. Hack as well, another 22-year-old German who looks really good too. I think Kunze looks decent. Wimmer, I believe, is definitely one to look out for, a 20-year-old Austrian with a lot of pace and 70 overall already. And Piper in the back line as well, just 22 years old, 6'3", but already 75 overall. So there are a few decent young players in this Bielefeld side who can develop, and this is kind of what I want to do with the Bielefeld side in the first season is, bring in some younger players, look to transition the side and make it very youthful indeed. It's still quite a young side regardless, and also try and assemble a German core as well. Now, if you watch my career modes over the years, you know I'm big on signing players that play for the same nationality as the club. I've got a whole series where that is the main criteria. It's called Club and Country. I'm running one right now with Wales and Newport County. But yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to assemble a young German core with this Bielefeld side. And as we develop over the years, we kind of grow up together. Because the likes of Kruger and obviously Piper in the back line and Hack as well. There's some decent young German talent here already. I want to add to that and really give this Bielefeld side an identity. And as for their on their pitch identity as well, you see quite a few players on the deals that come to the end of the year here. Quite a few noteworthy ones as well, such as Kunze, the young talent I'll point out there. Stefan Ortega, who is the highest rated player in the team at 78 overall, now in his mid to late 20s. I think he's going to be really crucial to our short-term success with Bielefeld, and more on that in a moment. Piper, the young centre-half who I mentioned, gave him a wage increase. I think this guy should have some decent growth. 23 years old, but already 75 overall. Looks like a great centre-half. Kunze, who is also 23 years old and 70 overall, could have some okay potential. And also this guy, Fabian Klos. Now, he's 33 years old and 73 overall. And you know that Kruger in this team is going to be our main striker, the young forward up top. But I gave this guy a 1-year extension, and the reason being is quite simple. He is club captain. He's been at Bielefeld for over a decade. And he's also their all-time record top goal scorer as well. So I thought in the first season, look, we want to make some changes with the Bielefeld side, sell a few players, bring a few youngsters in, but I don't think selling the captain and the club's all-time record goal scorer is the right thing to do in season 1. So he'll be here. He won't play many games, I'm sure, because I'm really excited about Kruger up top, but even so, I think for the nice feel, I didn't really want to sell him in the first season. We did put 3 players on the transfer list though. One was Joachim Nelson. He is a 73 overall Swedish centre-half, 27 years old, and managed to negotiate a 2.9 mil deal with the Argentines River Plate. You would have noticed we started the career mode off. I've got the transfer negotiation on strict and not loose, so we shouldn't be able to get too many bargain deals. Yeah, you'll get a few here and there, of course, but also when it comes to selling players as well, we probably won't get much over the valuation for the players we sell. We sold for 2.9 mil though, and as I showed you my shortlist here, these are the players that I'm currently looking at. These are young German talents. I think the highest rated is Bella Kotchap and Wagner man, both at 71 overall. And after selling Nilsson, I wanted to bring a new centre-half player alongside Piper. And again, I was looking for a young German talent to play alongside him. I had 3 names on the shortlist. Bela Kotchap, who I'm sure you know all about, Pfeiffer, and also Ambrosius of Hamburg as well. Now, Bela Kotchap was what I really wanted. He's the youngest and the highest rated, 19 years old and 71 overall. However, I decided to leave him where he is because right now, his team are currently playing in the Bundesliga, whereas for Pfeiffer and also Ambrosius, they are at Darmstadt and Hamburg, and they're both in the second tier. Now, realism, as I mentioned before, in career mode is incredibly hard to maintain, and it goes out of the window pretty quickly as well due to the crazy AI transfer market and also forms of certain clubs as well. But I do like to try and keep things semi-realistically in the first season or the second season as well. So to me, signing a player who is currently in the top tier, probably reasonably settled and at just 19 years old, probably doesn't want to make a big move to another club who will be battling for survival this year. Whereas a player that's in the second tier, to me, I think it was a little bit more realistic. You know, Pfeiffer at Darmstadt, we signed him for a deal just over the valuation. He's 6'5", 68 overall and 21 years old. And him moving up a division to the Bundesliga, I thought was a little bit more realistic than signing someone like Bela Kotchap, who at 19 years old, 71 overall, if he was going to leave, he'd probably leave to a far bigger club than ours. I thought realistically either Pfeiffer or Ambrosius made more sense. In the end, I chose Pfeiffer. He's 6'5", so he should be a physical monster in the air. So he will play alongside Piper, as they'll hopefully be our long-term CB duo in this Bielefeld side. We also did for Brunner though. This is a 27-year-old, 72 rated right back, and very briefly on this, earlier I spoke about the identity on the pitch with Bielefeld. Now, they've got this reputation in Germany as being like a really strong defensive side. They don't concede many goals at all. Like, they've got an incredibly great record defensively, consistently, as a side who are really good at shutting the door on teams. And that's kind of what I want to do with this Bielefeld team as well, as I negotiate a deal for Brunner there, rejects this one for Piper, and Cedric does go to River Plate, just like Nilsson does, for £2 million as well. That's what I want to do with this Bielefeld side as well. I want to be a really defensively solid team and really flip the script of what I found on FIFA 22 thus far. You know, I found this game seems to be goal glut. You know, goal gluts galore, basically. The 3Gs. You're just always getting goals scored and conceded. I want to try and maintain Bielefeld's identity, assemble a really strong defensive unit, and be really good at shutting teams out. We might not score as many on the offensive end, but being really solid at the back. I really like the idea of trying to challenge myself a little bit, because I talked about it before, defending in this year's FIFA at times can feel impossible, but I want to try and challenge myself and flip what my strength has been this year, just scoring goals, and turn my biggest weakness, which is defending goals getting conceded, and being more solid at the back. So yeah, we'll see what happens in terms of our defensive success during the season. I'm hoping I'll be able to maintain and strengthen our identity as well. So after selling Brunner, we did sign our new right back to replace him. It was Felix Agu of Werder Bremen. Once again, I'm looking likely to sign players that are outside of the Bundesliga, preferably in the first season, as a side who aren't yet established as a top tier side. Though of course we have those long-term ambitions to be. And Felix Agu at Werder Bremen in the second tier. This guy, I've had him before. He's really good when he hits full potential and does grow quite nicely. He's only 21 years old. He can play on both sides of the fullback position and further forward as well. He's really quick. I want to get the defensive work rate up, improve his relatively low strength, and also make sure this guy's got more stamina as well, because fullbacks and wingbacks are really important to me in FIFA CM. And speaking of fullbacks, we also sold our third player on the transfer list. Jacob Larsson went to AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands. 1.5 mil negotiated there for our left back. We have one on loan from, I think it's Cagliari, Sybora, but I do want a better, younger starting left back. And again, I try to continue the trend of looking for more realistic signings. Noah Katterback at FC Köln is really talented young defender, 20 years old, 70 overall, but Köln are in the top tier, and he often gets a lot of game time there. Whereas for Joshua Wagnerman at Hamburg, they're in the second tier of German football, so I thought more realistically it was better to go for Wagnerman. They're the same age, he is a rating higher, but I thought again realistically realistically, looking for players outside of the Bundesliga and in the lower tiers was probably more realistic in the very first season. So negotiated a deal with Hamburg, as you could see, put on a $7,000 a week, 5-year contract as well. What I'm really liking is well, the players we sold had higher wages than the players we're bringing in, so restructuring the wage bill, I talk about this a lot, it can be really, really important in both FIFA CM and FM as well. But Wagnerman to me is just like a carbon copy of Felix Agu, you know, very, very quick, very versatile, 4-star, weak foot, high medium work rate. He's 6'2". I think this guy could definitely play as a centre half as well. The defensive stats and the strength at 87 as well. This guy to me definitely could fill in at centre half. I think as a utility player, we just signed 2 of them, both Wagnerman and Agu. And whilst Joshua is a right-footed player, with that 4-star weak foot and LB being a secondary position, I'm going to flip the secondary and primary around, make him a starting left back in this team. And I think he and Agu on both flanks will do really, really well as attacking wing backs, but they can also be very solid defensively as well, which is going to be our main aim with Bielefeld in the first season. So the final thing we did, with just over 4 mil in the budget, is sign a youth scout. Yes, youth scouting my career modes. This is the first of mine you've watched. Very, very important. I love bringing through youth players. I always say it's one of the best ways to make a career mode save, unique, fun, and prolong the longevity of it as well. As we signed a new youth scout, we sent him out for Germany for 9 months, looking for any type of player whatsoever, and a 5-star one means we've got the very best there is. It means he'll find the most amount of players possible per scout report, and also the best possible players as well. So youth players are definitely going to play a big, big role in this Bielefeld team. We're starting off a 3.5-star team. It's not the best. This is look at our new 3 signings, all going into our back 4, but already we're trying to lay down that German core, bring in some younger players, and make it more exciting for the future. We're in the first episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, if you had, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for our next episode. We'll play our first games with Arminia Bielefeld in the Bundesliga very soon.